Great to have you back with us right here on BNS in the stock game. We've got extremely quiet markets at this point in time. So for the benchmarks at least, we are off by about 1/3% for both the Nifty and the Sensex. So for the Sensex, we've lost close to 62 odd points. For the Nifty, low by just about 15 odd points. The big movers in the session right now, well, we've got the defenses holding up, as is an RIL for that matter. Right now, that's higher by about 1.5%, as is a Power Grid Corporation. On the losing side then, well, we've got an IDFC and HDFC that are trading with some bit of pressure. But let's chat with Darshan then to get you more details on how the derivative segment is panning out right now. Hi Darshan.
Hi Megha, it's pretty much quiet as far as the entire F&O space is concerned, except for stock-specific movement that are really moving the market. If you're seeing, we are yet not able to reach the 5,300 mark. There are fresh shorts in the market, close to almost 6 lakh shares have been added as far as open interest is concerned, and the Nifty futures are trading at a premium of almost 30 points to the spot. What we're seeing is that 5,400 is seen as a very big resistance, and 5,200 is seen as the biggest support for the market, because that is where the total open interest is the highest. As far as individual strike price is concerned, 5,300, 5,400 call is seeing a lot of call writing coming in, 4 lakh shares added in each of them. And at lower levels, there's put writing happening at 5,100, 5,200, 5,100 adding in 5 lakh shares and 5,200 adding in 2 lakh shares in open interest. So at both sides of the current market price, there is a lot of call and put writing that is happening in terms of stock specific. Cummins is notable. Open interest is up close to 90% for Cummins India, and that one is seeing fresh longs coming in. DV's Lab is seeing fresh shorts, open interest up 17%. Ranbaxy has been gaining steadily for the past few days, open interest up almost 13%, fresh buying. Axis Bank is seeing fresh shorts, open interest up 7%, and United Spirits open interest up 7%, fresh buying is seen in United Spirits.
Okay, thanks very much for bringing it down for us, Darshan, giving us the F&O picture. Meantime, let's tell you what the stock game is all about. Here are the rules. 3 experts, they join us from Monday up until Friday. In this week, it is Saturday, and they are given a notional amount of 5 lakh rupees. They build a portfolio with a total of 4 stocks. They can select only one stock from the F&O space, and in case a target has been achieved or a stop loss has been triggered, they replace those stocks with a new one. If there's a sell call in the cash market, that's replaced by a new stock for the next trading day. Whoever has the strongest portfolio by the end of the week is the winner of the stock game. So let's get started by introducing our 3 guests on board. We've got with us Shrikant Shetty, who is joining in, the Saurabh Mittal, Managing Director at Swadeshi Credits, and Shrikant Chauhan, Senior Vice President Technical Research at Kotak Securities. Gentlemen, great to have you with us. Shrikant, I'll start off with you. It seems that the buy calls are following through for day 2.
Yeah, we're continuing with the buy calls. The market has remained choppy, but overall, so we're trying to identify some stock-specific kind of trading ideas on the buy side. Cairn India is what we continued from our earlier calls, and among the other things, technology pack has looked positive, so that's where we've seen some momentum in Oracle and Tech Mahindra. That's where we picked from Oracle and Tech Mahindra on the trading perspective. And from mid-cap side, I picked India Glycols.
Okay, we've got 4 long ideas coming in from Shrikant Shetty right now. And Shrikant Chauhan, then I'll take it to you. And what's the strategy that you're adopting for day 2?
I think the markets are still, we can say, choppy, and maybe we are heading for 5,200 first. So accordingly, I have chosen, taken the bets in the markets. I'm long on 2 stocks, BPCL and Larsen, and short on 2 stocks. They are like IDFC and NTPC.
Okay, that's the word balanced portfolio for day 2, you'd have to say, for Shrikant Chauhan. Saurabh Mittal is going to join us in a short while from now. He too is initiating 4 long calls. He's in fact gone long in his portfolio today on an on-mobile global. He also prefers a speciality restaurants. Apart from that, it's a Hero Motocorp, and finally Power Grid is his last buy call for today. We'll get you the individual stock rationale, but first the calculators. Let's see who's gaining and who is losing on the stock game. Shrikant Shetty for today has been stopped at on Oracle Financial Services, but in fact you do have a Tech Mahindra which is working in his favor given that the target has been achieved. Again, of 1,300 rupees. To Saurabh Mittal then, he's experiencing pain on the overall portfolio. He's got a loss very marginally though of 700 rupees off as we speak. And finally on to Shrikant Chauhan. No targets or stop losses hit just as yet, but take a look, it's green across the board coming in for him. And on the overall portfolio, a gain of 1.5%, so that's 7,000 rupees. So he is firmly leading the stock game as we speak. Let's nail it down to individual stock ideas. The Cairn India, how come you're betting on that, Shrikant?
We're continuing it from our earlier picks of yesterday. As per the rules of the game, we're continuing with one stock, so that's why we're continuing it. From a trading perspective, I think a 355 kind of target does look achievable. From medium-term target, as I've said earlier also, that the overall, given that volume increase in output, volume increase, potential output increase and potential acquisitions which they have taken place, which will also lead to further growth in the company. In terms of crude price, outlook also remains fairly positive from a medium-term perspective. So that's where we like the stock from a medium-term perspective. From a short-term perspective, we're looking at a target of about 355 kind of levels.
Okay, things looking pretty positive for Cairn India, and Shrikant's betting on that one for a target of 355. Let's talk about Saurabh's first pick for the day, which is the Speciality restaurant. Saurabh, you're of course retaining them this one from yesterday as per the rules of the game. So once again, reiterate for us the key triggers that you've identified.
Well, you know, Specialty Restaurants was a recent IPO listing, and the stock had gone up to almost 220, 230 and has corrected in the last couple of months. The brand is good. You have exposure to a new segment, which is sort of fine dining experience and conspicuous consumption, so to speak. And with the economy doing well and people having more money to spend, this segment should be one of the movers in the future. So at this price, I think Specialty is a decent purchase. And since it's been falling for a while, I think technically also it might be ready for a rebound. So I have a target of 164 on Specialty.
Okay, those are some of the levels to watch out for. Speciality being retained, in fact, from yesterday. Focus in on a BPCL. Shrikant, you've picked that counter. Given that the diesel rates may be raised by 4 to 5 rupees per litre after the 7th of September, given the massive losses that they're sitting on, why have you chosen to pick this one?
See, like the reason behind choosing this particular stock is that technically the stock is very strong, and even if we compare this with, say, like another, say, like the overall basket of oil and gas, then also the BPCL is standing at its say like the first place. If we can say like check on the daily charts, then clearly the stock is refusing to trade below the important level of 330, which is its very important Fibonacci retracement level. And yesterday also it recovered very well from that level, and it closed somewhere around 340 levels. So in my sense, I think again the stock is ready for the pullback for the say like sell-off that we have seen from say like 390 to say like somewhere around 320, 25 on the downside. I think in the current run-up, we may even see the levels of 375, 380. So what I mean to say is that technically the counter is showing that maybe the diesel price hike may come, or may some development come for the stock. So I think from here, minimum 357 can be achievable in the near term, and we can keep a stop loss at 329 very safely on the downside.
Okay, 357 is the target you can expect on a BPCL, which is also one of the preferred picks from CLSA. Away from that, what about an Oracle Financial Services? Now, Shrikant, that's the counter that's at, all-time highs close to that particular level. And where do you think fundamentally the counter is headed, especially, how the traction is building up on the order book size for the company?
So if you look at the recent performance, I think performance is quite good. In fact, we've seen some rally coming from 22700 levels to these levels. But on a fundamental base, I think at least an upside to about 3300, 3400 does look possible on the stock from a positional kind of perspective. From a trading perspective, I had given the call, given that there was good momentum seen in the stock. I expect the stock to move up to 3130 from a trading perspective. Of course, the stop has got triggered for the day.
Okay, unfortunately been triggered for the day, but 3130 is the upside target with 2990 as the stop loss, down by 2% as we speak. On Mobile Global, that's the second stock that you've chosen to retain with a target of 36, Saurabh?
Yeah, I think On Mobile has had its share of problems, but the stock has taken a beating. It's down almost 90-95% from its high. But the problems are getting sorted out. The CEO has resigned and the company is looking to restructure, and I think with those stories out of the way, the stock does have value. It's a mobile application making company, so which has a good future, and The business model is good, except for some of the scams that have happened, but I think those should now be settled, and the stock should see a rise again. And at current levels, I think it's pretty attractive, and I have a day target of 36 on it for today.
Okay, Automobile Global is an attractive investment idea from the current levels, in fact, and Saurabh's expecting a target of 36. Let's move on and talk about the index heavyweight Lawson in Tubro, because that's Shrikant Chauhan's second pick for the day. Shrikant, it's not done too badly over the last month or so. The counter is managing to hold up above that 50-day moving average as well. So technically, do you think we've seen a turnaround as far as L&T is concerned?
Absolutely. See, like Larsen is one of those few stocks of the Nifty. They have given, we can say, a better returns in last 2 or 3 months from, say, like since December 2011. Even if we compare with, say, like the other large caps like Reliance, State Bank, then also the stock is performing out of, say, like Infra Pack, the stock is performing extraordinarily. So I think in my sense, the stock is again near to its important support area of 1330, 1340. Even in this, say, like last 2 months, we have seen a huge volume built up between these levels only, 1330, 1340 levels. And that is why I'm expecting that since last 3 days, the stock is not falling. And today, in case, because of any reason, market starts reversing from lower levels, then certainly this stock will again move towards the level of 1400. So it's a technical peak at current levels. Even if there is, say, like medium to long-term view, then also I think the stock is advisable at current levels to buy for. But today we can buy with a stop loss at, say, like 1323 on the downside, and we can keep a target of 1392, say, like 1410 maximum in next 1 or 2 days.
Okay, keep an eye out on L&T, 1354, and gained 15.5% in the last 3 months. Let's quickly pull up the stock price of an Aban offshore also. That counter is seeing a good surge in the volume as well as price activity as we speak. There's only a buzz which is going about on the street that the company has sold its thermal power project division to Nuzi Vidu Power in an all-cash deal, which is worth 720 crore rupees. The management has not confirmed the same, but the stock price clearly giving it a thumbs up at 402. A quick check on the calculators one last time before we take that break. It's Shrikant Shetty for today. Remember, 4 buy calls, 2 out of 4 stocks are in the green for him, and it's an overall gain that he's sitting on of just about 1200 rupees. So that's putting him in the second position. To Saurabh Mittal then, and it's a similar status, but given that he's retained 2 picks, it was a loss yesterday, he's carrying that forward. They have come down a bit, so 400 rupees off. Shrikant Chauhan, though, is clearly in the leading position. No targets or stop losses hit, but it's green across the screen, and that too by a good margin. It's 7,000 rupees up on his portfolio. We take a quick break at this juncture, come back with more trading ideas in just a bit. Well, not before we remind you how you can tune into your favorite show, Buy Now Sell Now Weekend, on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock, Sunday afternoons at 2, and Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Good to have you back with us right here on the Stock Game. Well, we've discussed the first 2 ideas, so then let's get to ideas number 3 and 4. And Shrikant, let's talk about the Tech Mahindra, which you've picked to buy for the day, and of course the news that the company is possibly going to buy out Hutch's Indian BPO arm. And given how the counter is added on close to 40% from the start of this year, how much more value do you think this can add?
See, I think the biggest trigger for this entire stock has been the merger of Tech Mahindra and Satyam. The combined entity clearly will be one of the larger players in the software space, and given that we have seen a positive trend in the software segment per se, valuations improving for most of the mid-cap to semi-mid-cap kind of space, there is scope for valuation improvement for Tech Mahindra Satyam in the merged form. So there is scope for upside, I think, till about 1,000 odd levels from a medium to longer term kind of perspective. From a short-term perspective, I thought once the fall has been largely on account of the selling by BT, which has been through as of now. So there could be a recovery till about 830, 840 kind of levels. So that's where I was looking to trade this for a target of about 830 and a stop loss below 800 levels.
Okay, that's a word on Tech Mahindra, the counter higher by 1.5%. Moving away from that to the auto space, it came out, Hero Motocorp, that company came out with its auto sales numbers. What did you make of it, and where do you see the counter headed from these levels, Saurabh?
The numbers were disappointing, but that was expected because the stock has fallen from the 2000 levels in the last week or 10 days to a level of 1760. And there was a little bounce back yesterday after the numbers were announced because I think the stock has been oversold. And I hope that this little reversal will continue for another couple of days. So I have a target of 1850 on Hero Motors, and it should be achieved. I mean, there will be, of course, with the market moving and this being a large cap, it tends to go with the index. But I think the market itself is ready for a bounce back, and if that happens, then you'll see these large cap stocks also move up significantly.
Okay, so 16 rupees off for a Hero Motocorp right now. 1850 is the target that Saurabh is expecting. Let's move on to an IDFC next. That's Shrikant, your third call for the day. Given how the count has not done badly over the last 3 months, it's added on close to 7.5%. Why are you shorting it for the day?
See, like first of all, IDFC is clearly a hedge against the buy call of Larsen, because I'm still not sure that whether the market is going to go up first or going down. Yeah, the overall trend is showing a lot of weakness, and I'm expecting 51.90 first. But I think in this kind of market, we require some hedging instrument always if we trade in this. If we want to trade in this market. Technically, also the stock has broken very clearly its rising trend line at 131, 132 levels. So from here, the next retracement support comes at 125, 126 only. And while looking at the say like weekly charts, the stock is forming triangle formation. So I think the stock has completed its first wave around 145, then next at 137, and maybe now on the downside it will complete its next target of 125, 126. So it's a technical sale, and it's a hedge kind of strategy.
Okay, a technical sell on an IDFC, and over the past 1 month, the count has done absolutely nothing, off by just about 0.9%. Shrikant, let's take it to your final stock idea, and here's a good stock from the mid-cap space in India, Glycols, which has given you a smart return over the last 1 month of 17.5%. Do you think one should buy it at these levels or wait for it to go down further?
See, that's a tough call to take. It's a small company. It's a market cap of just about 440 crores. The recent performance was quite smart. The recent quarterly numbers were quite smart. So on that basis, I think there is scope for a significant up move in the stock. It's an undervalued company. It just trades at about three time kind of forward multiple. So there is significant scope for upsides once the market starts looking at these kind of stocks. There is scope for upsides. The 17% upside is not something to be worried about. But yes, there can be corrections because it's at resistance probably around 160 has been a bit of a resistance for the stock for some time. I believe if it manages to take it out, then the upside targets could be anything upwards of 200 kind of levels from a medium-term perspective. From a trading perspective, I think 175 does look achievable.
Okay, that's what coming in on an India Glycols. The target of 175 is what Shrikant Shetty is expecting. Let's move on to a power grid, Saurabh. That's the counter that you're betting on for the day now. Given how it's been very, very quiet from roughly the last 3 years, it's really not shown too much momentum, and suddenly it's picked up over the last 3 months. Do you think that this is going to turn out to be a good investment pick for a year's perspective at current levels?
Well, stocks like these tend to behave this way. They are very steady. They don't have too much downside risk, but when they move a little bit and then they stop for a while. Stocks like NTPC, Power Grid, and a couple of others move like this. But Power Grid is a solid company, third largest transmission utility in the world. Profits were great, 870 crores last quarter, up 23%, and with a PE of 13.5, I think it has value. And the stock should do well. I think it's up today, and it was up yesterday as well. The movements will be small, but they will be steady, and these stocks will always give you returns in the long term.
Okay, looks like slow and steady wins the race, and that's one of the candidates that Saurabh is betting on, a Power Grid. Moving on to NTPC at 167, was it the technical or the fundamental factors that drove you to short this counter, Shrikant?
No, again, it is like on the technical things, because say like the way like I'm expecting market, it's like in its last leg of correction. I mean to say after hitting say like 51.90 we can expect bounce back, but this for 50-60 points will certainly attract sell off from those strong companies which are like still like trading at their highs, like NTPC or HDFC Bank, HDFC Limited. They are still trading at their highs, but now like in last 2 days we are seeing correction, especially out of these counters. So maybe next 1 or 2 days we can see some more sell off out of these companies. Another thing is that the NTPC is continuously say like failing to cross the important level of 171, 172 on the high side, and since last 4-5 weeks the stock is forming multiple dojis on weekly charts. So I think the stock has broken its lower boundary at 167. So from here 165 minimum can be possible. But maybe 161, 160 can also be possible on the downside. And with a say like minimal stop loss, suddenly we can trade short at these levels. So the target is first 165 and next somewhere around 161, 162 in the near term.
Okay, so expecting the downtrend to continue for an NTPC, 165 is the immediate target. Of course, it could go as low as 160 as well in the short term. But with that, let's take you through the calculator then to tell you how each of our experts is doing right now. So Shrikant Shetty, 2 out of 4 are in the green for him, but overall as well, he's managing to hold on to some bit of profits. That's about 1/3% higher, 1800 rupees in the green. Saurabh Mittal, on the other hand, we've got him suffering quite a bit of pain on automobile as well as Hero Motocorp, and overall as well, the portfolio is trading marginally lower with a cut of about 250 odd rupees. Shrikant Chauhan then, well, his portfolio would be up on your screen. It's entirely in the green, 4 out of 4 for him. So we've got him making a gain of close to 1.5%. That's a smart sum of about 7,600 rupees. That's things done right now. We've got Shrikant Chauhan in the first place, followed by Shrikant Shetty, and then of course Saurabh Mittal. So gentlemen, thanks very much for first joining us today. We look forward to what you'll be getting for us tomorrow morning at 11:30.
Okay, but with that, we wrap it up right here on the Stock Game. Thanks so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. Market Sense is coming your way next.
And not just that, of course, here's a reminder how you can tune in and make your weekends more exciting. So Saturday mornings at 10, Sunday afternoons at 2, and Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. is when you can catch Buy Now, Sell Now Weekend.